and welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Love. If love is the answer, what is your question? So, Ask Dr. Love is a podcast done daily to help you understand acupuncture, Asian medicine, herbal medicine, nutrition, and your health. So you are free to ask any questions in the comments of whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And Ask Dr. Love is heard on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Radio Play, and there's another one. So we want you to ask your questions because you never get a chance to ask questions before you go to the acupuncture physician or the doctor of Oriental medicine or the Chinese medicine doc. So here's the opportunity to ask those questions. I am an expert in 6 different fields. One of those fields happens to be your immune system. And today we're going to talk about advances in the immune system that were discovered since 2017. So we're just talking about the last 3 years. The research that they've done to show that they don't know really how the immune system works. So the first thing I want to tell you is that I'm drinking a mixture of raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, acai, and ginger. And I start every morning typically with celery, carrot, beet. But today, somebody asked me about collagen and somebody asked me about fruit fiber. And I said, I'm going to make a berry cocktail. So some of you who've been following me for a while know I teach raw food prep and I make elixirs. So today I made a delicious elixir and I wanted you to share it with me. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, ginger, and acai. That's all it is. Now, January 2017, they discovered that the lymphatic system did not end behind the jaw, that it actually went up into the brain. Now, that is a major discovery because they're going to have to rewrite the medical textbooks to show new medical students that the lymph system goes all the way into the brain. Now, if I explain to you how the lymphatic system works, you're going to say, of course it goes in the brain. Why would it stop there? So it's logical to assume that the lymph system is part of the brain. But they didn't know that until January 2017. That's frightening because the trigger for the immune system is in the brain. That's the crazy thing. What turns on the immune system? Well, they found a lymphocyte. A lymphocyte is a white blood cell that lives in the lymphatic system that turns on the police, the National Guard, and the Army. Now, they found this lymphocyte, an ILC2 lymphocyte. Look that up on Google. Do not take my word for it. Look that up, and you will find out that they used to believe that lymphocyte was only found in the gut and the skin. Now they discovered it in the brain, and they find out there's a whole lymphatic system in the brain. What the fluff? What's going on with our medical system? We used to believe we had the best medical system on the planet, and they don't even know about the lymphatic system until 2017, and it hasn't really filtered down to regular docs in clinics and private practices around the country. This is still medical news in journals. Like I said, it hasn't filtered down yet. So that's pretty flipping crazy from my perspective. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you've been watching the online Boost Your Immune System class, the first exercise I teach you is called lymph swing. And that's literally where you throw your hands down, your chin goes down, hands go back, chin goes down, hands go back, and you're rocking back and forth on your heels and your toes. So the bottom of the lymph system is in your ankle. So as you rock back and forth on your heel toe, you're back flushing the lymph system from the bottom. The secondary lymph glands are in the groin. The main lymph glands are in the armpit. You have 1,400 lymphatic drainage points. 1,100 of them are in the abdominal cavity. You have lymph glands in your neck, and now you've got them in your brain. So when you go chin up, chin down, chin up, chin down, you're literally pushing lymphatic fluid into the skull. That's significant. Now, you have a thymus gland, which is halfway between the midpoint of your chest and the throat. That's where the thymus gland is. The thyroid is located underneath the SCM muscle that you hear me say, pluck your thyroid side to side. She goes side to side. Now, you hear me say that every morning. So when we pluck the thyroid, we pluck the SCM, the thyroid is underneath there. Then the pituitary is right behind the forehead, and the pineal is at the top of the brainstem. So if you put your middle finger on the base of the skull and you put your chin up and down, you can literally feel your brainstem. And if you tap the brainstem, then little shock waves of interstitial fluid and fluid flood the top of the brainstem, which ignites the pineal gland. Now, here's another weird thing. The pituitary directs the glands to make hormones, to manufacture hormones. The glands secrete the hormones. So the pituitary needs the pineal to activate. Will it activate without it? It could, but obviously, if you change your oil and keep the air pressure in your tires, your car engine works better. So naturally, we want to keep our pineal highly functioning so it can assist the pituitary to do its job. Now, Qigong, again, this same movement of lymph swing pushes lymphatic fluid up into the brain, igniting the pineal to the pituitary, connecting the two. So chin up, chin down, chin up, chin down. So that's another thing that's involved in your immune system that they don't even talk about. Just Now, Western science says that there's cellular immunity, lymphatic system. So it's the blood and the lymph together contains humoral immunity. And there's 5 types of white blood cells, eosinophils and basophils and so forth and so on, that go on a search and destroy mission to kill bacteria, virus, fungus, and parasites. Now, if you're not active, if you are sedentary, if you are sitting 5 hours a day at work and 5 hours a day at home, that's equivalent to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. But more importantly, the lymph system only works when you're active. So walking, running, jumping, climbing, spinning, dancing, that's how you activate the lymph system. Stay inside, don't move. Don't go outside. If you do go outside, wear a mask over your face so you can't breathe deeply. That is crazy. This is insanity. The very things that they are telling you not to do are the very things you have to do to trigger your immune system. And you trust the Western medical system. You trust it because your mother trusted it, and your father trusted it, and your grandparents trusted it. I'm not happy. I'm not happy because my grandmother goes into the hospital for a surgery and they don't even know how to keep her alive. They don't even know that there's something called the interstitium. January 2019, just last year, they discovered a new organ. A new organ? Are you kidding me? The interstitial fluid is the fluid that lubricates the body. We know the body is 71% water. Outside of the blood, outside of the 5 pints of blood, 10 pints of blood, whatever it is, what are the other fluids? It's interstitial fluid and lymphatic fluid and cerebrospinal fluid. So you're going to tell me that you just discovered that the interstitial fluid that you know existed actually directs the connective tissue and the fascia. Now, they know all about the fascia, not so much about connective tissue, but they didn't know that the interstitial fluid directs and coordinates the function of the connective tissue and the fascia. And those three together have a new name called the interstitium. In Chinese medicine, we have something called the triple warmer, the triple burner, the triple heater, which is the circulatory, the digestive, and the reproductive system. Those three together equal the interstitium, and the Chinese knew about that more than 2,000 years ago, and Western medicine completely disregards Asian medicine. Completely. So here we have a system that exists. They just discovered it, and we've been using it for more than 2,000 years. Do I trust Western medicine? It's getting harder and harder and harder. So let's recap. They found the lymphocyte in the brain. It's not supposed to be there. They found lymph system in the brain. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. They found out the pineal is required to make the pituitary work for the immune system. They didn't know that. And now they discovered 2 more things. One is called extracellular superoxide dismutase. That's a mouthful. Don't worry about it. We call it SOD for short. What is superoxide? Superoxide is the thing that cleans up the cellular debris. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you repeat that one more time? Superoxide is an oxygen radical that cleans up cellular debris. Well, what does that mean, Dr. Love? It means that when you exercise on a regular basis, you stimulate the daily cleanup of cellular debris. Now, let's think for a second. The garbage truck comes through your neighborhood once a week, maybe twice. Truck to come and you're like, oh, let's put out the garbage. Now, what if the garbage truck didn't come every week? What if it came every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks? The garbage in your house would then pile up. That's what SOD does. It gets rid of the garbage in your house. Now, there's something called autophagy. That's a general cleanup. That works on a regular basis. But wouldn't you rather clean up the garbage every single day instead of waiting to the end of the week? Which
Pile up.
Which one do you
That's
want to do?
SOD.
Of course you want to do it every day. Of course you do. So regular exercise cleans up cellular debris. This is news to them. This is news. They didn't know. This is February of 2020. February, they just discovered this. And in March of 2020, they found out that exercise triggers the immune response of the lungs, the heart, the liver, the spleen, and the kidneys. So there's an immune switch in every one of your 5 major organs. And when you exercise, you flip the immune function switch. You turn it on. If you don't exercise, okay, yeah, Can I have another cigarette, please? And bring me a glass of wine with that. Your immune function is not working unless you're exercising. And what do they tell us to do? Don't exercise. Don't go outside. And if you do go outside, wear a mask so you can't. They tell us warm air, sunlight kills the virus. And then they tell us go inside, stay inside. Don't go outside. Now, silly question. Is the air quality cleaner because people are not driving? Does the atmosphere look better? Does the sky look cleaner, clearer, brighter? Don't go outside. Don't partake in the fresh air. I went to visit somebody yesterday. I say, they have an enclosed back area. They've got a swimming pool. They've got an enclosed backyard. How often do you go outside? Outside? No, we never go outside. What about your dog? Do you let your dog outside? Oh, no. We never let the dog outside. Okay, I can't talk to you anymore. You've got a respiratory problem. You just recovered from pneumonia, and you don't want to go outside. Well, I've been tested. I'm clean. I've been tested, but I don't go outside. We got to do something, folks. You have to do something. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to make a decision. Am I a sheep or a cow? Do I just okay, I'm just going to go along? Or I'm going outside. I want fresh air and sunshine. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to move my lymphatic system. I'm going to do this thing that Dr.Love showed me how to do. I'm going to go to lovechigong.com and register for that Boost Your Immune System course every morning at 7:30. And even if I can't take it at 7:30, I can watch it later on at my leisure. I had a call from a friend I made 30 years ago. Haven't spoken to him in 10 years. And he says, I saw your thing online. What time is the class? How do I register? I'm like, I'm sorry, who is this again? He said, oh, yeah, I met you 30 years ago, and I saw you online, and I want to take the class. Oh, 7:30, that's too early for me. That's too late for me. I start working at 7. I said, so watch the class some other time. Well, what is the best time to do the class? Sunrise, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., sunset, and midnight. Well, I'm going to bed at 9, so midnight is not for me. What were the other times again? 2. Sunrise, sunset, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. But that's not the time that you have to do it. You do it when you can do it. And you should be outside. And you should be barefoot. Did I mention barefoot in the grass? Did I say barefoot? Yeah, I did say barefoot in the grass. Why barefoot in the grass? Because the earth has PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field, PEMF for short. So when you're barefoot in the grass for 30 to 60 minutes, your blood pressure drops 5 to 10 points. That's why barefoot in the grass an hour a day. But the sun, before 9. Our class starts at 7:30. We're done at 8:30. If you get an hour in the sun before 9 a.m. and an hour in the sun after 4 p.m., you won't get skin cancer and your vitamin D levels will raise. Words are important. Vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. Your body manufactures that hormone in sunlight. The only other way to get vitamin D naturally is cold water fish, herring, cod, salmon, flounder. Cold water fish will give you vitamin D. Oh no, I'm going to take a pill from the health food store. That's synthetic. Oh, I'm going to take fish oil in a capsule. That's synthetic. Okay, I can't help you out here. You've got to make these decisions. You've got to make the choices what works for you. Sunlight, an hour in the morning before 9, after 4. That's a requirement. You don't need vitamin D pills. The vitamin D shows up as rickets. Rickets is bone deformity. Have you ever seen anybody with bone deformity? I don't think you've seen vitamin D deficiency, but that's for another podcast. So I want to recap. February of this year, they discovered extracellular SOD. March of this year, they discovered that exercise triggers the immune response in 5 major organs. 2019, they discover the interstitium. 2018, the mesentery. Oh, I forgot to mention the mesentery. The mesentery is an organ that is connected to the stomach, the small intestine, large intestine, the spleen, and the pancreas, which are all digestive organs. Now, if you have a stomach injury, we can cut out half of your stomach. You'll still live. If you have a spleen injury, we can take your spleen out completely. If you have a problem with your large intestine, they can cut out 90% of your large intestine. If you have a problem with your small intestine, they can cut out 90% of your small intestine. But if they cut your mesentery, you die. You cannot live without the mesentery. So then they realized the mesentery is a separate organ. It has its own agenda. You cannot live without them. Now, interesting thing. What is the trigger for the immune system production of white blood cells? Oh yeah, it's in the bone marrow. But what directs the bone marrow to make white blood cells? It's in the spleen. It's in the gut. The gut triggers the response to turn on production of white blood cells. They don't know how the mesentery works. And I'm here to tell you that the mesentery is directly responsible for manufacturing the white blood cells and the lymphocytes. And that's from Chinese medicine. And that's why I'm the expert in the immune system, and Western medicine is behind the times. So, 6 things in the last 3 years that Western medicine just discovered. I don't trust them. 2 of my uncles are medical doctors. 2 of my cousins are medical doctors. I grew up in a medically oriented family. My father had a PhD in science education, and physics. I was reading textbooks before I was in 1st grade. I graduated from high school at 16. I got my bachelor's degree when I was 16. So I'm here to tell you that Qigong is the way that triggers your immune system. Qigong is the way that sends lymphatic fluid into the brain. Qigong is the way that sends cerebrospinal fluid to the brain, which lubricates the brain and the eyeballs. Qigong is the way that triggers interstitium to function at its highest capacity, because the fluid is part of the endocrine system, and the endocrine system is led by the pituitary. Wow, I hope you can see how all this fits together. If not, I'm going to make a slide presentation and you'll be able to download it if you are a member of loveqigong.com. That's the only way you're going to get this information on a regular basis, is to join the class every day, 7:30. That's all I can tell you. It's only $25 a month. I guarantee you the price is going to go up. but that's up to you. It's totally up to you. I can only take you to the door of the temple. You to the door. This is your call. This is your call. Your health is in your hands. You make the decision. Do I want to trigger my immune system? Do I want to know how to boost my immune system? Because bacteria, virus, fungus, and parasites, you're born with. You're born with them. 83% of all the people infected recover on their own without hospital or doctor intervention. I'm going to say it again. 83% recover on their own, at home. What's going on? The Chinese say that you have a defensive energy, which we call Wei Qi. That's their immune system. That's the way they envision the immune system. And when your Wei Qi goes down, it allows bacteria, virus, and fungites to proliferate. Now, I'm going to imagine I'm a virus. If I kill you, I kill me. I'm going to imagine I'm a parasite. If I kill you, I kill me. So parasites and viruses want to make you sick enough so that you slow down so that we can reproduce and hopefully infect your family and friends, but not kill you. It doesn't serve a virus or a parasite to kill you, just make you sick enough so I can reproduce. So I know two people who are experts in retroviruses, and they've studied this thing from A to Z, and they say, this is created in a laboratory. This is not naturally occurring in nature. But totally up to you. Your call. I'm not telling you what to do one way or the other. But I strongly suggest you take the Qigong class, increase your blood flow, increase your respiration rate, trigger the immune function in your 5 major organs, trigger the ILC2 lymphocyte. So for my Google friends, ILC2 lymphocyte, Google that. Google interstitium. Google mesentery, MESENTRY. Okay, Google those things and find out. Don't take my word for it. I want you to know that your health is in your hands. You've got to have access to the information. You got to make your own decisions. Qigong will save your life. Qigong saved mine more than once. And I'm going to tell you a short story. I had bronchitis. I moved into a new apartment. I couldn't breathe. Something made me pull the wall air conditioner out, and there was black mold around the wall air conditioner. Something said, pull the sink out. So I pulled the cabinets away from the sink. There was black mold there. I complained to the landlord. I get into a fight with the landlord. In the middle of all that, the kitchen ceiling caves in, and I look up and there's white mold. So now I cannot use my kitchen. So I have to get tape, and I have to tape off my kitchen. I can't use my kitchen now. I get a big air filter. So I got white mold, black mold. I'm watching TV and they say, oh, the tree pollen is 100 times higher than normal. So there's an alert, there's a pollen alert. Now, I don't know what a live oak tree. I live in Clearwater, Florida. I've never lived on the West Coast. I don't know that on the East Coast, they've killed all the live oaks. But on the West Coast, there's live. Why are the trees giving off pollen? Well, it turns out Governor Jeb Bush refused to put out the brush fires along I-75. And so all the smoke from the brush fires were triggering a response in the oak trees to give off pollen just in case they might burn down. So now there's smoke coming into Tampa Bay, and I live 2 blocks from the ocean. So all that smoke is coming up into my house. I asked my landlord, that I'm fighting with about the tree pollen. And he says, oh, there's 3 live oak trees in the back and 2 in the front. Your house is surrounded by pollen. So I've got bronchitis, black mold, white mold, tree pollen, and brush fire smoke. I thought I wanted to die. I couldn't breathe for 5 days. I really thought, God, please let me die. I crawl on my hands and knees. I get in my car. I drive 2 blocks to the beach. I get out. I do Qigong. I crawl back in my car. I keep the AC on. I wait till sundown. I do Qigong again. Get back in my car. I drive home. I hug the air filter all night long. For 3 days, I do Qigong twice a day. I lay in my car breathing AC air. The morning of the 4th day, I woke up like I was never sick. No bronchitis, no mold, nothing. It was like a miracle. How could that be? I've been doing Qigong for 20 years. And now doing it twice a day, and instead of doing it 3 times a week, I'm doing it twice a day. Flip the switch. And I was doing Qigong 3 times a week, not even every day. This is 2004. I was doing it 3 times a week. And then I went to twice a week. And in just 3 days, all my lung issues were gone. That's how Qigong saved my life. And that's how I'm convinced that I can help you with your respiratory issues, your immune function. So I got excited. Please forgive me. If anyone has a question, anybody has a comment, you can text to 81010.
Just comment it.
Okay, just comment below.
And they could request to be in live.
And they can request to be in the
live video on Facebook.
In the live video on Facebook.
Or Instagram.
Or Instagram.
No question.
No questions. I threw a lot at you, and I gave you information to Google. So you got to Google it. Your health is in your hands. You got to take the information that I gave you. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Please be diligent. Don't be complacent.
We got comments.
Okay, we got some comments.
Qigong is ancient and key to optimum health.
Is that a question or a statement?
No, it's a statement.
Yes, it is.
Comment.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you have any questions, Katniss? So how?
Oh, yeah, I do.
What is the question?
The question is for those who live in colder areas, because he mentioned that it would be best to be barefoot doing Qigong so that you could receive the energy.
Okay, so in Japan, people have a little tiny backyard. They do a 55-degree cold shower. You know what 55 degrees feels like?
In the morning.
It feels like ice water. And they go in their backyard and they stomp around for half an hour barefoot on the cold, hard ground. And then they take a 55-degree cold shower outdoors. And that wakes up their blood and moves their chi and gets them ready for their daily commute to Tokyo. So do I have any sympathy for you and your barefoot cold on the dirt? No, I do not. If you want to save your life, I think you can go out and stomp around in the backyard and take a 55-degree shower, because that's part of their cultural practice. And Japan, I don't know if you've been following all this stuff. Taiwan, really low numbers. Korea, really low numbers. Japan, really low numbers. And China's like all around there. China, really high numbers. So it's your cultural healing practices that make a difference.
Serena has a question.
Read it out now.
Is there anything wrong with steeping marijuana in tea? Why is it frowned upon? That's Serena Wiley.
There is nothing wrong with steeping marijuana and making a tea. That is the preferable method of ingesting marijuana. It's a good relaxer. It's good for your blood. It's actually good for your immune system. So people frown about a lot of things. So I don't care what other people frown about. But as a medical practitioner, drinking marijuana tea is perfectly okay.
How long should the Qigong practice be, or whatever?
You cannot do too much Qigong. The Qigong hospitals in China, they do it 6 hours a day. So how long should it be? As long as you can hang. So I usually do 2 to 3 hours a day, take a break, and I do more. So you can break it up, or you can do it all consistently, but there's no maximum. 8 hours, 10 hours. Master Li used to do Qigong 12 hours a day. So he's the standard for me. For me, 6 hours is fine, but he used to do it for 12. Why 12? Because he was beaten and tortured for teaching Qigong. He was beaten and tortured for 8 years for teaching Qigong. And the last thing he said to me before he died was, "Don't let my Qigong die. Don't let the Qigong die." So I'm compelled to teach this to you and spread it as far and wide and plant as many seeds, health-giving seeds as possible.
Thank you. Can meditation be replaced by Qigong?
Aha! That's an excellent question. You can replace a lot of things with Qigong, because Qigong is meditation. Qigong is breathing exercises, and Qigong is exercise. So if you know you're supposed to do 40 minutes to an hour of meditation, if you know you're supposed to do 30 to 40 minutes of breathing exercises, and you know you're supposed to do 40 to 60 minutes of physical exercise, you can combine all three of those into one Qigong exercise.
And where can they get that Qigong?
LoveQigong.com is to register for the class. We do have pre-recorded videos that you can purchase, but I strongly suggest you join the class before you order the digital version of the Qigong.
So, all right. So,
All right.
Sounds like that's it.
So I dropped a lot of information on you. Forgive me for strong, but I feel very strongly that we're not being served by the care industry. We have to serve ourselves. We have got to be diligent. We have got to be the ones to do the research and decide what works. Make your life a series of 2-week experiments. You will not believe who said that. That was Steve Jobs. Make your life a series of 2-week experiments. And that's how you can tell if something's right for you. Tomatoes may not be good for you, or you may only be able to eat cooked tomatoes versus raw tomatoes. Pineapples may not be for you. Oh, we got one more question.
From Serena Wiley. How can Qigong heal your hips from past injuries?
Aha. Well, it depends on the diagnosis, because the hip is a ball and socket joint. And I can take you through, I'm assuming this is for your hips, because I have a couple of Tai Chi people who have ruined their hips from standing in horse stance too long. So Qigong, it depends on.
For our mom.
Oh, for your mom. Okay, so we'd need x-rays of your mom, and then we'd have to do an online consultation, and I'd have to see where the glitches are, and then I could prescribe the Qigong exercises for your mom.
All right.
Okay. So thank you for watching. Thank you for asking questions.
They got more questions.
Oh, more questions.
If they keep on coming, you keep on going.
You keep talking, you keep asking, I keep answering.
All right. Question is, I'll let you read it.
No, read it to me.
All right. I have stage 4 triple negative breast cancer
Yes.
and pleura.
And pleura is the lungs.
Is there a particular type of qigong I should look into?
Absolutely. My mother had triple negative breast cancer. We beat it once. It came back 5 years later, and we beat it a second time. So my mom is doing qigong, and I will tell you everything that I do for my mom. So call me, make an appointment. We'll go through it, and I'll take you through all the steps for the triple negative breast cancer. My mom is 97, by the way. And this November, where are we? May? We're in May? Yeah. November, I'm sorry, October 30th. Oh boy, I'm in trouble now. October 29th, she'll be 98. October 29th, my mom will be 98. And I spoke to her on Mother's Day, and she's kicking strong and still doing the qigong.
Kicking qigong.
Right.
Sounds like a headline. There's one more question.
Okay.
Said Falun Dafa was more frowned upon. Do you know why people in China was murdered for the practice?
Yes. It was not because of the practice, but because Falun Dafa decided they were going to run for political office, because Falun Dafa is spiritual qigong. And so they wanted to run against Communist Party for political office. And that's why they're persecuted, not because of the qigong, but because their leadership was running candidates for political office.
All right, so this has been the conclusion of Ask Dr. Love. LoveQigong.com.
LoveQigong.com. This is episode, what, 28?
You're spot on.
28. So your health is in your hands. Prevention is the only cure. And in order to be well, you've got to chi well. Thank you for watching. Until tomorrow.
And how do they subscribe for your text newsletter?
21daystowellness.com. That's the numbers, 21daystowellness.com. You can just get on the email list, and you'll find out about all the classes and courses. And we have events coming up every month. And so we've got the intro for people, the certification for the people who want to do the deep dive and actually become instructors.
All right, kicking strong, doing qigong. Prevention is the only cure. And you got to breathe well to be well.
To be well.